It's the giveaway. It's the giveaway. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for everybody for liking and subscribing and commenting on these videos, because that's ultimately what keeps this channel going. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger as this company goes, and so we're gonna give away something even bigger this time. It's time to give away a PSC bow. All you guys have to do to win this thing is the same thing that you've been doing. Like and subscribe to our channel, like every video, and comment. And you can comment as many times as you want. And when we go through and we pick, the more comments that you have or the more likes that you have, along with being subscribed to this channel, only improves your odds of winning this bow. We're literally giving someone a free bow, okay? Just to like and subscribe this video. So if you guys are interested in free stuff, and you didn't win this bow this time around, you didn't win these Vortex binos, you're still entered. Just stay engaged with the channel, keep liking the videos, keep commenting on them, and it's gonna help you win maybe trail cameras in the future, tree stands, things like that. All right, guys, I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I'm jacked up about this one. It's off season, and a lot of times people think, oh, it's the off season, it's time to like chill out and not worry about habitat improvements or deer hunting. No, this is the time in which next season becomes successful. All the work you put in today. There's a lot of different ways you can go about improving your property. And let's face the facts, sometimes you don't know what those options are. So what do? You start searching for help. You start going on YouTube, you start reading articles, you start reading blogs, watching vlogs. You're just trying to get every bit of information you can. You still, when you get all that information though, it doesn't necessarily pertain to your property. It's not designed perfectly for your property. There's all these ideas, all these concepts, and there's a ton of them out there, guys. And unless you're truly testing them on your property, how do you know if they're gonna work? And so there's a lot of videos out there talking about these different things. So now you're just trying to look for the next step as to how to improve your property. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna bring in a professional, okay? You're gonna bring in a habitat management expert. Somebody like myself, there's others out there as well. So now today I want to go over how these habitat management process visits actually work. So a lot of times somebody will reach out to me and we give them the breakdown of how this whole thing is going to work, and that's exactly what I'm going to do for you today, just so you have a better understanding if you ever get to that point where feel like you're at a dead end of your property. We've all been there. Let's say you're at that dead end and the bucks from the neighbors are, they're just never coming to your property. You don't feel like you see deer outside of the rut. All these different things that make your property average at best. There's things that you can do to improve upon. So now I'm going to at least give you some ideas as to what goes on and how the property can be improved upon directly for your property. Not just a YouTube video with generalizations, not just a blog with general ideas, a detailed designed habitat plan for your property. So how does a visit from Whitetail Land Management Services work? Well, now that I've been around the block a little bit and I've seen how other people do it. I've seen how other big companies, quote unquote big companies, the big companies that a lot of people know do it. I really feel like there's some perks to working with Whitetail Land Management Services. Well, and of course I'm gonna say that, guys, it's my own company. So take this with a grain of salt and ultimately make the decision that you think is gonna be best for you. But let's go back to the nitty gritty, or the beginning here. So somebody contacts me and we lay out a visit. So what we're gonna do ultimately on my behalf is I'm gonna do a preliminary map scouting. I wanna look at topographical features. I wanna look at edge habitat. I wanna look if you have cricks, rivers, conifers. You can tell that by the aerial maps. If you have a lot of hardwoods, CRP, things like that. I can generally tell a lot of that stuff from the aerial. And we're gonna come up with a plan based off of the layout, based off of the access, all the information you've given me, where you've seen bucks, things like that. And we're gonna come up with a preliminary plan. Okay, so now we're gonna have preliminary ideas going into the property. We're not just gonna walk in there and just see everything for what it is for the first time. We're gonna go in there with some ideas. Let's fast forward to the day of the visit. Okay, so we're gonna show up, and I'm gonna show up to that property, probably bringing one of these sweet Can-Ams for you to drive around in, and we're gonna go and tour your property. I want you to show me how you use your property. You obviously have tree stands in certain locations and you access them certain ways. I want to almost shadow you as if I'm not even there, just to see how you're using the property, and we'll make changes from there. Maybe your access was poor for southwest winds or northwest winds, which are some of the more popular winds that we're going to get throughout the deer season. And so that's why I want to see how you're using it, and then we can manipulate and change those things. The other things that we're going to go over that day is the food plotting plan. Okay, how can we get more food on your property? And how can we draw those deer 365 days a year, let alone just the deer season? We're gonna ultimately try and create a food plotting plan so that you have the most attractive food source on your property in September, October, November, December, and January and beyond. Okay, so that's the goal. We ultimately want those deer to be able to use your property all year long, because that's a big part of it. A lot of times guys are only seeing deer in October and November, and although there are other variables, maybe an imbalance in the herd and some other things as to why deer spend times during on certain properties during certain times of the year, food has a lot to do with it. And if you have the most palatable food source on your property all year long, well, you're probably gonna hold a lot more deer all year long. So we're gonna go over that entire plan from a food plotting standpoint, how to plant those food plots, when to plant those food plots, the best method to plant those food plots, what type of food plots, and so many other things from a standpoint, how to build soil structure and get immediate results. A lot of times people put down lime and think that now their food plots are gonna go great. It takes a lot of time for that lime to actually break down and benefit your soil. So we have alternative options so that you can get maximum results fast. You can have the best food plots on the block fast. Even if you don't have great soil, we can work on it. So ultimately we're gonna go over the food plotting side of things. We're obviously gonna talk about the axis and the tree stands and the trail camera locations, where to put all that stuff. We'll mark that down. The other big thing that we're gonna go over that day is timber stand improvement. This is a loaded question or a loaded topic, and I could talk about this for probably a half an hour, but which timber stand improvement method is best for you, and where do we place it on your property so that it can be strategically hunted, not bothered, because if we go in and we do some timber stand improvement, the goal is most likely, not always, but most likely to create some sort of bedding area. Well, we need to be able to hunt that strategically without bumping deer in and out of it, hunt a correlating food source, have a transition area in between, and build the ultimate design. So there's a lot of different ways we can go about creating all that timber stand improvement work and getting the proper work done. And some of the different ways that people have talked about are the hinge cutting, okay? Not overly impressed with that method. There's a time and a place though to use it. The hack and squirt method, where you basically hack into a tree, spray it with herbicide, and it kills the tree standing. There's a time and a place for it. The knurling of trees, where you cut around them with a chainsaw, they die standing. That's another kind of version of the hack and squirt. You generally do that on bigger trees. There's a time and a place for it. But some of my favorites is logging, okay? And is it a clear cut? Is it a select cut? There's so many different options, and that's why I recommend you don't go and try this without bringing somebody in first, because we can't undo what's been done. So those are things that we're gonna go over. And the nice thing is we go over alternative ways in which you can make money on the property. Maybe it is logging, maybe it's a state-funded program. There's a lot of different options. And in fact, I'd say about 90% of our clients this year have been given a plan that is going to allow them to make money after hiring me to come to their property and visit the property. Yes, make money to build better deer habitat, to shoot bigger deer, to own the property of your dreams. Where's the downside? There isn't one. There really isn't. And I'm not going to say that I can do it for every property, but there are options. Just from working with clients, working in different states, I've learned a lot about these different things that we can do to make money on the property and ultimately have the property be self-sufficient. You want to buy redneck blinds or some enclosed blind, or you want to buy the best trail cameras, you want to get Exodus trail cameras, the best tree stands, you want to get all these things. Why not have the property that you love spending time at the most ultimately be self-sufficient and create the funds to buy those toys? It's possible. So we're going to go over all those things. Now, thankfully, because Whitetail Land Management Services has thankfully been a successful enough company, we do have partners. And what does that mean for you guys? It means if you're looking for those trail cameras, if you're looking for those tree stands, if you're looking for Can-Ams, if you're looking for e-bikes, if you're looking for all these cool tools that you want to have on your property at a discounted rate, there's a good chance we can probably help you out with that. We have these partners, we have promo codes for our partners, or from our partners to give to clients, and all these other things. So that's gonna include what everything what goes on that day of the visit, and then we're gonna go back, and that's when the work really begins for somebody like myself. I'm gonna go back and create a long report. It depends on the size of the property. It might be 20, 30, 40, 50 plus pages of information on all the things we went over that day. I tell everybody, hey, I'm gonna throw a lot of information at you today. Don't try to retain it all. You're gonna get a written plan for this. So you're gonna get comprehensive maps. You're gonna get all that timber stand improvement method information designed for your property. Like what needs to be done, where it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. Not generic videos anymore, things like that. Same thing with the food plotting, how to plant, when to plant, what to plant on your property. in strategic locations. No more second guessing, no more, second guessing whether you're doing the right things on your property. Now you have the perfect plan, and you're gonna get all that information within this plan. And I also try to pride myself in staying in constant communication with clients throughout the years. Now, don't get me wrong, there are hundreds of people to talk to, and it's hard to keep in contact with everybody, but if you ever have a question, you can always reach back out to me and we can get things solved. So I've seen these other plans that these other companies have created, and I'll say this much: you're going to get a lot of information from me, a lot more than most other people are going to give you. And ultimately, we're going to do everything we can to make your property as good as it could possibly be, have as many deer on your property as we can possibly have, and keep them there consistently throughout the entire year. So at the end of the day, that's kind of how the entire plan works. And if you're looking to bring on a habitat manager, I can't say that they all run their company the same way, or a professional habitat consultant. I can't say they all run their company that way, but that's exactly how I run mine. There's probably other details that I even left out, other things that we can help out with as well. So that's how this all works, coming from my personal company. And if you guys are ever looking to hire somebody on, well, drop a little comment down below, find us on social media, and we can get the ball rolling and hopefully get bigger bucks frequenting your property more often.